And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black and gold trim. His official weight of 16 stones, 9 pounds. He has a record of 4 fights, 1 loss, 3 wins, and 1 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Sternberg, Czech Republic, introducing Martin Svarc. And his opponents across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the black trunks. His official weight of 16 stones, 2 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 4 wins, and 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Barnet, London, England, United Kingdom, introducing Lewie Pochetty.
Okay, lads, 6-round contest. Keep it clean at all times. Keep yourself protected at all times. Touch gloves. Here we go. Good luck, lads.
Looking forward to seeing Lewie Pochetty from up close. Exciting style.
Seconds out. Round
Puncher's
1.
reputation. That garnered initially in the amateurs, where stoppages are often rare to come by, but not so for Pochetty. So many opponents seem to pull out of would-be engagements against him as an amateur, and he's turned pro, only just turned 19. He's young, a little bit of the Tommy Morrison look about him, and if he can punch a bit like the Duke used to, then he'll be doing okay. Early days in his career, Barry, but looking forward to seeing him from up close.
Yeah, no, it's been exciting to watch here so far. You know, whether he's getting him out there early or you know, getting involved in some wars at times, but it's good to watch. Nice fast hands, a real solid jab. You see how he steps behind it. That's going to knock anyone back onto their heels.
Right hand from Svarc. And it is Pochetty who's playing the aggressor early on in this one.
The way Svarc just paused with that left jab. If Pochetty just takes his head to the left, slides that front foot in, and just whips a right hand over the top, I mean, that might be the end of it.
Nearly clipped him with that right hand over the low left there, just missed with it. And there is always just that, right hand there from Svarc, kind of twisted into that one, but there's always the expectant hush of anticipation when the big guys get in the ring.
Well, just whatever happens, but you can be in any fight. One punch can turn a fight, but in this division, it's more than likely that one punch is going to turn the fight on its head.
We talked, Andy, about jeopardy, didn't we, in boxing earlier on, and you know there is usually almost always jeopardy at play, but no greater place than when the heavyweights are in town.
Absolutely not, because they all have the power to switch the others' lights out at any given point, and they're so big and they look so physically impressive, but then you can see them in such a vulnerable state when they get hurt. It's a kind of wild sight that never really gets old. You look at these two, and Svarc is up at heavyweight, but you can see he's carrying a bit of spare, whereas Pochetty is chiseled out of rock, isn't he? You look at those traps on him, just on the top of those shoulders there. He is in serious shape, and he did some good work earlier in the round with the jab. It's funny, Svarc's got this kind of quite loose look to him when he gets hit. He backpedals and gives ground a little bit and looks a bit vulnerable.
Quite quick though. He's maybe just got the advantage in hand speed from what we've seen through the first round. Pochetty moving with menace, hasn't been able to land any of the big bombs yet, though there have been some little glimpses, Barry.
Yeah, I don't know, if he just takes his head off the, use a new phrase now that I never like to use, takes his head off the line a little bit, especially when he's throwing the shots, I think that'll just give him a better angle for that right hand, and also he'll avoid anything coming back. He's a little bit stationary with his head when he comes forward, Pochetty. But apart from that, that was a good little first round. The jab was At the beginning of the round, the jab worked really well for him. He sort of negated that and tried to walk Svarc down a little bit too much, but he starts using that jab again, pushing it back with the jab, keep pushing him off balance, and then slide in the distance and get that power shot, that right hand into play.
Victor Smith over in that corner with his back to us,
Corner,
the right of your camera shot alongside Lewie Pochetty. They've been working together for 4 or 5 years now
out,
since
round 2.
Oh, Pochetty was a 15-year-old or there or thereabouts. First thought about boxing purely as self-defense. His dad kind of nudged him in that direction, and it's just taken off bit by bit since.
He's looked for that right uppercut a couple of times now, Svarc. The first round, it was longer than the one he looked for there. He was miles out of distance and wandered in behind it slightly. It's a bit dangerous, that.
Pochetty, I was just thinking about similar to sort of what you were saying, or goes along with that. Pochetty's got, if he's not going to use that jab to go forward, he's got to start working off the mistakes of Svarc. If Svarc throws that lazy jab, you've got to throw that right hand over the top. You've got to be sharp. You've got to start making Svarc panic or making him think a little bit more here. So he makes an obvious mistake, and you can really, really dig deep and make him pay for it.
Yeah, there's some sort of fast twitch energy from Svarc.
See, that's where the jab needs to be worked there from Pochetty. Good body shot though.
He missed with the right, but he immediately came back with the left hook to the body, didn't he, Pochetty? And that shows the value in throwing shots in combinations.
It's good work, good work. He's waiting a little bit too long, isn't he, Pochetty? Let his hands go.
Svarc does have speed, doesn't he? Final minute then of the first round. I think the referee's just going to have a word with Svarc. In that last exchange, he was just having a word with Svarc, not to be holding, and he's already given him a pretty stern warning.
Doesn't need a hold when he lets his hands go. He's effective, isn't he? Nice little body shot there in that combination there from Pochetty.
Looks like uppercut again there, Svarc. He wasn't that far away with that one. It's kind of an interesting challenge, isn't he? Because when he does let his hands go, there's a lot going on, isn't there? It's a big blizzard of stuff. These octopus arms come flying around all over you from seemingly all angles. And for Pochetty, I guess it's just trying his best to just lock onto the target and ignore all of that. But just as I say that, a massive winging overhand right came his way. It's not easy, this. Stylistically, it's quite tricky, isn't it?
I think he's a bit of he's a bit of a puzzle. He doesn't look like he should be a puzzle, but I think he is a bit of a puzzle, Svarc. And just the advantage in speed is giving him just that.
Yeah, but I'm going to repeat myself here, and I might just do it like for every round. In the beginning of the first round, Pochetty came out with a solid jab. He stepped behind it. He was fast enough to hit the target first. Either way, it pushed Svarc back, and that's what he needs to do. So what he's looking for now, and he put his punches together in combinations, Pochetty, quite effectively at times, but he's waiting too long because he's trying to get, he wants to get the distance right.
Seconds.
But to judge the distance, when you're not quite sure, you extend your front hand, which is your left hand to him, and then you know where you are, you work off that. So you keep working that jab, then you can get close to do for all the other work that you want to do will be far more effective. And without that, you're always going to be waiting a little bit too long, and that allows Svarc to let those faster hands get into play. You could take that away by just using your left hand effectively.
Into the third then.
I'll say that again in 5 seconds time.
To the third, scheduled for 6. Nice jab to the body there from Pochetty, scheduled for 6 rounds for the first time in his career. Last couple have gone 4.
I mean, this division more than any other, fundamentals are so important. A straight left, a straight right, and a left hook if you're orthodox, the other way if you're southpaw, is almost all you need to be a world-class heavyweight, because power factor takes away all the other stuff, all the other little bits of show-off stuff. It takes it away. If you have that, if you master that, you're halfway there.
Just can't quite time Svarc yet.
Oh, he's awkward, isn't he? As we were saying, I think the key for Pochetty here really is, as I said, just lock onto that target. Don't get obsessed with nice, big, clean headshots. Just hit something as he comes flying in at you. Just plant that jab out there. Just hit him. Just get him resetting. Because I was looking at him carefully in the corner in between rounds, Svarc, and he was sucking the air in. And I think if you can really keep him working when he doesn't want to, he could come apart in the second half of this, because 6 rounds is a long time. He's throwing these bursts, isn't he? And then looking to get all over you and grab you, as the referee has already told him off for.
Yeah, there was better in that previous exchange. Pochetty worked, he landed a jab, and then he managed to work downstairs and then back upstairs again.
Like, his punches are Pochetty's punches are far more effective. There's more weight in them. They're better delivered. But the fast hands here of Svarc, you know, and the fact that he's throwing in combinations, and they're clean punches. They're landing Scott. You know, it makes the round all of a sudden very close. He landed with the uppercut that time, Andy.
He did. Just a little marking on the left eye of Pochetty as well.
I think he's making this harder than it needs to be. A good
Oh,
shot.
that left hook might change things around. He managed to whip that in and amongst the exchanges where things were getting a little bit untidy. And there's no doubt this Svarc wanted to hold on. He's suddenly exploding into some of those exchanges now. A bit careless on the way out, Pochetty.
A good body shot there though from Pochetty. That's a short little shot, but that'll slow the legs down a little bit.
He found good distance, didn't he, in that exchange? That was really the key to it. And he definitely got to him slightly, because for 10 or so seconds after that, as he walked in, Pochetty, he didn't have this blizzard of punches coming back at him.
So, feathers maybe ruffled slightly for Svarc.
Yeah, he made the dent in that round for the first time there, didn't he, Pochetty? He didn't hurt him, but Svarc did recover, and he wasn't as hurt as maybe we first thought. But I think Pochetty, no, he's a good fighter. He has lots of ability. He's looking for that big punch. I think that's his little bit of his undoing. I think he's making this fight harder than what it could be. Svarc is awkward, but you're helping him by not throwing your jab. Have I said that before? It's true though, it is. I mean, it's just that one thing that he knows that he can do, that he has done, that he needs to do more often to set up everything else he wants to do. He work around that, and everything else you're trying to do
Seconds
will be
out,
easier for you.
round 4.
And it's maybe just the occasion, the opportunity, the platform, maybe weaving into the over-eagerness to explode and perform.
That often happens, doesn't it? But that old adage that the more you go looking for it, the less likely it is to happen, it's just so true, because if he settles down in the second half here and just boxes, then he will deliver a level of pressure that so far he hasn't been able to do, because, as Barry's been saying, he's been looking to set up that one big shot. If he looks to work everything off behind the jab, starting with the jab, then I think he could get to him here. I really do, because again, I was looking at Svarc in between rounds, and they were working that towel to get plenty of fresh air to him. Now, some fighters have that look about them. They look a bit knackered after about 10 seconds and just stay looking that way.
There was one boxing last night, Chisora.
Exactly. But they've got it in the tank. But he needs to ask that question, Pochetty.
Couple of body shots as they came together there from Pochetty. Can he make Svarc rugged? Can he unsettle him again?
And also, I think there might be a case of here that Svarc, there's no weight and real weight on Svarc's punches, so Pochetty doesn't really respect his power, so he thinks he can walk through him. But then walk through him then. Don't half walk through him.
There was an exchange of jabs.
Good left hook, a little bit of a slap with the right hand, but which made all the noise, but the left hook was a lovely shot there from Pochetty.
Yeah, it sounded good, didn't it? But it kind of landed on the side of the body as they were kind of twisting in that exchange. There is an eagerness about Pochetty. He wants it so much. He wants to explode. He wants to excite, wants to entertain.
There's only a few little things that'll make him a much better fighter, you know. So you've got that centre line, you know, when you come forward. He can bob and weave or sway side to side as he comes forward. Just gives him a different angle, makes him harder to hit, and you push off your leg with either hand then to make more weight into your shot. Makes it faster, more explosive.
Well, there's a nice short chopping right hand. Missed with his own wild uppercut. Pretty much every time Svarc shows that extravagant uppercut of his own, he looks so vulnerable and hittable. The head goes up in the air, chin goes with it, arms come down. If only Pochetty can time that, spot it. Easier said than done, maybe, against this unorthodox Czech character.
I'd just love to see him, and we've been saying it throughout the course of the fight, but I'll repeat it this time. I would just love to see him jab. He doesn't really throw a jab, and when you've got somebody like Svarc who's going to windmill at you a bit, he's slightly better than that, but that's essentially what he does. If you could just plant that jab as he's coming in looking to do that and knock him off balance, then you can work off that, can't you? At the minute, he is just kind of walking in on him.
And also, you're not asking him to do something that he can't do, because he did that. He's done it now and again, and in the start of the first round, I thought, oh, this is going to be easy night for him, but he was pushing him back with the jab pretty as the round started. So, you're not saying he can't do things he can't do. I mean, he's a talented kid. You can see, he's athletic, natural ability, and I understand being a big guy with power. You just want to throw your best weapon all the time and first and all the time. But sometimes doing that means you can get a little bit predictable, a little bit readable, and more importantly, just a little bit flat-footed. And I think he's been a little bit like that today. I don't want to be overcritical of him, because he hasn't boxed bad, but I think he's a talent that could be much better, and he's shown a glimpse of it tonight.
There was a jab to start the round with intent. And it's the 5th round of a scheduled 6. It's certainly in public new territory for Pochetty. Oh, that's a lovely double left-hand combination, ended up into the midriff of Svarc.
And even there then, he didn't quite get the work off, but the way he slipped to the right there to throw a combination again. Again, he gives us glimpses of that real quality, doesn't he?
I mean, Svarc does do slightly unusual things. He's not a box of tricks by any stretch, but he is it's not something you see every day as an opponent. Managed to avoid the right hand there, Svarc.
He's very loose, isn't he? And what that translates to is that when you hit him, I wouldn't say it doesn't register, but being able to catch him and it register full force is not an easy thing to do. He's got that kind of rubberiness about him that dissipates the force of the punch when it does land. It's really difficult to hit him clean.
He naturally rides the shot, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, he does, he does.
He's always doing something, isn't he? He's kind of throwing back or spoiling, deflecting.
He is, and that's key, isn't it? Because he's busy. And I've been spying on him in the corner because he just looked from an early stage like he was feeling it. But he is one of these guys who just looks the same after 30 seconds as he does now, because he actually works pretty hard when you consider the amount of punches he throws, and quite a lot of them are fairly extravagant, and if he misses with them, then they're going to take it out of him. But although he doesn't land that many clean, he kind of hits you with something and ends up mauling you a bit, so it's not all completely wasted energy.
And Pochetty, he's been in sparring with much better boxers and fighters than Martin Svarc, but he probably hasn't quite come up against this kind of style before, in truth. So he is having to learn on the job, and these are the kind of tests that you need. See a different style presented, find an answer for it, do something a little different, or do the really basic stuff well.
Good right hand there from Svarc. Just a few seconds ago, Pochetty landed a nice jab with a right hand, but got paid back there by Svarc.
In terms of the scoring of this, it's not that easy to score some of these rounds, to be honest, because Pochetty's the better fighter of these two. Svarc, as we've been saying, doesn't land an awful lot clean, but he throws a lot of punches, and there's been a few rounds there when no one's really landed that much that clean, and he's the one who's throwing more. That
round, exactly. Pochetty's punches that have some sort of effect, not a damning effect, but some sort of effect. You see them clear. But Svarc was much busier in that round, much busier.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. I mean, the appearance of the fight is that Pochetty's coming forward, therefore he's the one doing the work, but actually scoring shots have been thin on the ground.
No, but I think ultimately for me, I think most of the scoring and the punches of any caliber have come from Pochetty. But when you break it into a round-by-round basis,
10 seconds.
That can have a different outlook, rather than just see the whole of the fight, all the decent shots, really.
Seconds out,
come from
sixth and
Pochetty.
final round.
Most definitely.
Can he find a bit of space and composure and rhythm to...
But again, he's 19 years of age. He's in his 5th fight. These are all things you need to learn about using your boxing brain and using your ability and managing a fight and what weapons to use at what time. These are all, this is a good little learning fight for him.
Not getting frustrated, keeping your composure, finding little solutions.
Yeah, not just trying to throw your best weapon first. I think that's what he's been a little bit guilty of.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think this has been a bad performance, and as you say, he's a young guy. He's a difficult opponent, and I think he will learn a lot from this, because Svarc has got this kind of method that you don't see all that often.
And maybe when they do get tangled up close like that, not allowing the fight to become untidy and your opponent to find a way out.
That's better there from Pochetty. Nice 3-punch combination. Having success with the last shot. Anyway, it's been a decent little pace as well. Let's not forget that. So the engine's good here from Pochetty.
Nearly clubbed him with the right hand there, Pochetty. I think they're maybe both feeling that pace just a little at the midway point of this final round.
And even now, with the way of fighting, learning that as a young professional, when fighters hold you and you're not used to it as an amateur, it doesn't happen. I mean, the way in professional, they hold you and they lean on the back of your neck and they pull you down by the shoulder, by the elbow.
And the crowd got into that one because the right hand landed on the side of Svarc's head. And then another one, and then Svarc came back with a haymaker of his own. It was a glancing blow, but he managed to get it off and to land it.
That's what makes this division different to any other. When they start getting tired, these heavyweights, they start swinging shots. It's literally just a lottery, isn't it?
And like he did in moments early on in the fight, Svarc looks exhausted, but that kind of languid, relaxed style of his is maybe slightly misleading.
Good shot.
Oh, a couple of right hands from Pochetty and a left hook. 3 of them. Manages to turn his man. And finally, a big impact towards the end of this one with 30 seconds to go.
But he did well there just to turn off the ropes, Svarc. He looked in trouble there. We mentioned that kind of rubbery quality, but he did turn his back, and I thought he might be about to take a knee or cause the referee to step in, but he somehow found a way through, although he needs the bell now.
Takes a good shot, doesn't he?
Yeah, some of the best. He does. He's got such a languid start. There's another left hook.
Cracking left hook.
That's the best sequence in the whole fight from Pochetty. The best moments in the final minute of this one. And after a fast pace, right above us, Martin Svarc kind of leaning over the top rope, looking absolutely banjax, but I don't know if he's going to be top of the black book list for matchmakers or not. I imagine he might be.
Well, he's given us 6 good rounds there at a good pace, hasn't he? He came here to try and get something done. He's on the right-hand side of the bill. He knows that he's not been brought here to win, but he obviously feels that if you're going to try and do this, be an opponent at heavyweight, which is a hard thing to do, then the best way for him to navigate the rounds is to be busy, and that does leave him a bit open. But he worked hard there, and he wanted it, didn't he? Because towards the end there, he could have shuffled down and stayed there if he wanted to, couldn't he? And I don't think anybody would have particularly blamed him. So I'm all for that from Martin Svarc. And at the end there, when a fighter kind of leans over the ropes like that and looks absolutely knackered, I love it, because this is a hard business, and he's given us everything.
That's what you should be like, especially if you're trying to win a fight. If you're not tight, if you lose a fight and you're not exhausted, then you should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, if you lose a fight and you're not exhausted, then you've got to give everything you've got. I think he gets plenty of work, because I think if you're a promoter, there's so much money in the heavyweights. As much as you want to protect them, you want to know what they got. He's not a huge puncher, so you know what their engine's like, what their temperamen's like. He's a really good test for a young heavyweight moving up.
Good lesson tonight,
Ladies and gentlemen, after
Lewie
6
Pochetty.
rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Sean McAvoy scores the bout 59-55. And your winner, Martin Svarc!
Well.
59-55. So that's 5 rounds to 1 in favour of Martin Svarc. And the quality punching there, as we were saying, didn't come from Pochetty. He had 2 big onslaughts, one in the previous round, one in that 6th and final round. We talked about volume, and that's why I raised the question of the scoring, but I don't see that. I don't see that card. I just don't. I can see it the other way, 5-1, which is maybe a little bit harsh on Svarc. I thought maybe 4-2 Pochetty and an absolute push and draw, but 5-1 to Martin Svarc, not for me.
Because being busy is one thing, right? But quality of shots also should be factored into that, more so if anything. And I can't see how it goes that way. I think he deserves a really good shout for the scorecard. And maybe we're seeing it wrong here from ringside, but I thought Pochetty did enough to win that for me.